Now that Invincible Season 3 has wrapped up all 8 episodes, it's time to go and rank all 3 seasons of Invincible. Now before I start this ranking, I just want to say that all these seasons are great. If your favorite season is in last place on this list, I still loved it. If I were to give each season a rating, the lowest on this list will still be an 8.5 out of 10. All these seasons are great, and even if something's low, I still loved what they did with it. But with that said, let's start. Like I said, Season 2 is still a great season. There are way too many plot points. Half of these plot points just feel like setup to something greater, to something that's going to happen in a distant future, something that's going to close off the entire show, not the season. I will talk about later what made Season 1 so great, but Season 2 just felt like a lot of setup to stuff that wasn't fully paid off by the end of the season, and then by the end, the whole season just felt like setup by the time you got to the end of it. Like the multiverse story, for example. You set that up in the first episode, we forget about it entirely until it gets brought back up again in the last episode, just for it to be brief. It's nothing big like the Omni-Man versus Mark fight, it's just a very small scale fight that didn't really feel like the entire season was building up to that. But we do get a lot of awesome character moments that really bump up this season for me, because Invincible, what it does best at is the character development, and that's exactly what this season is full of. Setup and character development. And we get to see how these characters respond to the events of Season 1's finale, and how they're coping with that, and how they're following up on that. We get to see the journey of that. And because of that, we get a lot more emotional moments, because we care more about these characters. So when the emotional moments hit, it hits hard. But by the end of the season, you're just left to wanting more, and just felt like the entire thing was more setup than conclusion to stuff. And I wish most of the setup was paid off, but I know it's going to be paid off by the end of the show. I know all the setup is leading to that. I just wanted more by the time the season ended. Now yes, I can agree that Invincible Season 3 has some of the best moments in the entire series so far. When we have all these high moments, we can't forget about all the low moments in this show. The low moments in the show certainly do bring this season down for me. And then we also have the same problem with Season 2, where there is still a lot of setup to more things to come. It's not as bad as Season 2, but it's still relevant in here. And one of my problems with Season 2 still carries over is at the finale of the season, there was not really any setup to it. Especially this season, there was no setup to that finale. It just came out of nowhere. But the finale itself is the best moment of the entire show. I like Mark's journey he went on through this season. I like all the characters' journey they went on through this season. And I like all the setup that we're getting slowly to that war that's going to end off the entire show. But we're just slowly building there. We're taking little baby steps, and this season continued to set all that up in a lot more intriguing way than Season 2 did. And like I said, the high moments of the season are certainly high and some of the best moments of the show. But I feel like Season 1 just has a better story overall than Season 3, and a lot of character moments that I like more. But Season 3 is slowly building up to that finale that's gonna probably blow our minds once we finally get to it. Which is why I'm going to read the comics so I can actually get to it. So although Season 3 has better moments than Season 1, it doesn't really quite match the scale that Season 1 brought. Season 1 of Invincible is the best for me. Although the stakes aren't that high in this season, it just did the best at telling the story and the characters. The entire season we're kept on suspense of Omni-Man. Episode 1 showed that he's not the person we think he is, but we don't learn who he actually is until the final episode, and the entire season just keeps building up to that suspense, so when the payoff happens, you feel it. You feel the gut wrench. You feel what Mark is going through, and you see his side of the story. And just that suspense on Omni-Man is what works the most in this season. If you didn't really have that suspense, if you didn't really have that build-up, this season would not have worked the same way as it did. The finale is able to pay off all that setup that we've been building to, and it just would not work the same way if you never set it all up. Which is one of my problems that I had with the other 2 seasons. And then we also get to see Mark slowly learning how to become The entire season, he's looking up to his dad until he finally finds out that that's probably not the person you want to be looking up to. This season also left off a lot of things for the future, makes you excited for what's to come, but the season does work on its own, and it's not trying to build up to anything grand scale like the other seasons are, and just works as a standalone story. But anyways, that's my ranking of all 3 seasons we have gotten of Invincible so far. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, maybe these ones on the side interest you too. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time. Goodbye.